What if the secret to manifesting wealth and health in your dream life, what if it wasn't invented by modern self-help? What if it was actually gifted to us thousands of years ago by extraterrestrial intelligences, aka aliens that were posing as gods? From ancient Sumer to the Dogon tribe, the Vedas to the pyramids, culture spoke of beings from the stars who didn't just build temples. They taught humanity how to work with energy, frequency, and consciousness to really shape reality. But this knowledge was buried. It was erased by empires, it was twisted by religion, and it was forgotten with time. But here's what they didn't want you to know. The most powerful thing these civilizations left behind, it wasn't technology. It was a manual for how to manifest reality. Let me show you how it was erased and how to use it. My name's Jake with JakeDucey.com, and in this video, we're going to be breaking down how aliens taught us how to manifest, the secrets of ancient civilizations, and how you can use these ancient extraterrestrial teachings to bend your reality. Now, across every continent, ancient civilizations really had these same stories. Beings from the stars came and they brought knowledge and they changed everything. The Sumerians, they were one of the world's first civilizations. They wrote extensively about a group of powerful sky beings called Anunnaki, which translates to those who came from the heavens. And these beings were said to descend from the stars and play a direct role in the creation and the guidance of humanity. And according to their ancient texts, particularly the Enuma Elish and other tablets, the Anunnaki taught humans agriculture, laws, astronomy, and writing. And they taught Sumerians a collection of divine decrees or cosmic laws that became fundamental aspects of the civilization and how reality works. And then if we travel to ancient Egypt, we see a strangely familiar concept. Egyptians called these beings Netiru, which means divine beings who descended from the light. These weren't just symbolic figures of nature. They were described as radiant beings of light with the ability to travel the heavens and then interact with humanity really as like mentors and guides. The ancient Egyptians believed that these alien beings taught them the secrets of medicine, of architecture, of timekeeping, the nature of reality and the soul. Now, the Great Pyramid of Giza, it was attributed to the influence of these Netiru alien beings, and it's aligned with Orion's belt, and it's built with mathematically impossible precision that really suggests not just physical engineering, but energetic science that really would be impossible for them to possess on their own, especially at this time. And it's strange, right? It's chilling, but in a fascinating way, because all of these ancient civilizations have the same theme. Like in Egypt, these alien beings weren't worshipped as distant gods. Instead, they were seen as like cosmic architects. They were beings that descended to teach and help humanity evolve. And here's where it gets even stranger. In the West African Dogon tribe in Mali, they had oral traditions that the Nonomo, which were extraterrestrial beings, aliens, that allegedly taught them the true nature of reality. Here's where it gets even stranger, because on the surface, it's easy to dismiss the Dogon tribe as some mystical folklore, right? But the things that modern science has now proven correct about their theories are strange. How could they possibly know all this stuff, right? The Dogon tribe said that these beings came from a planet called Sirius B, which we know now it's a part of a star system that is invisible to the naked eye, and it was only discovered with modern telescopes in the 1800s, and then it was confirmed by Western science in the 20th century. How would they know that? Well, it gets even weirder. These ancient African tribes didn't just know that Sirius B existed, they also knew even more that modern science has now confirmed thousands of years later. First, they knew Sirius has a companion star. The Dogon called it the Potolo, meaning the star of great density or the deep star. Now, the Dogon legend states that Potolo is made of a substance heavier than all of Earth's iron, and a fragment of that would weigh as much as, quote, 480 donkey loads, which is, kind of strange, but it is mathematically correct because we now know that Sirius B is as dense in just a teaspoon amount as 5 tons. How could they know that? Gets even stranger. The Dogon knew that it had a 50-year orbital period. Astronomers have now confirmed that this orbit's length is accurate, and they originally did that in the 20th century. Years later, thousands of years later, right? How could they know this? How did they know this with no telescopes? How did they know this with no satellites? Well, they say that these aliens called the Nanomo gave them this knowledge directly. And in addition, they taught them vibrational teachings on frequencies and the essence of creation, that really the universe itself responds to thought and consciousness. But there's actually a lot more of this all throughout history. The Hindus described gods riding Vimas, which were these flying machines with sound-based propulsion. Then the Mayans, they honored Quetzalcoatl, a feathered serpent who arrived in a beam of light and then taught humanity the codes of time, of energy, ethics. And the Mayans honored him, this feathered serpent deity who descended from the heavens. And the crazy thing, other than being this otherworldly being, he taught them all about astronomy. He taught them all about mathematics, architecture, and he is credited as teaching them how to align with the cycles of time. And this is how they developed the really accurate Mayan calendars that we now know today and we think are so perplexing. Like, how could they possibly know all this stuff? Well, they say that this extraterrestrial being taught them how to do that, how to track the stars and develop all these time codes and calendar systems. And then, just as mysteriously as he arrives, he vanishes. Some say that he walked into the ocean. Others say that he rose back into the sky, hinting really not at death, but at interdimensional travel. And time again, if we look at history, we see these ancient civilizations saying the same things. Their advanced understanding of the nature of reality came from what we call aliens. The strange thing, none of these cultures had contact with each other, but still, they all described beings who came from the stars or other realms. They glowed, they radiated light, they appeared and they disappeared at will. They built impossible structures that were precisely aligned with the stars. They brought advanced knowledge of quantum mechanics, of astronomy, of mathematics, of sound, frequency, and the soul. And if the stories are true, they didn't just give them tools. They gave us the keys to create reality itself. But who were they, right? What did they teach? How can we use this knowledge today to control our personal reality. So let's dive deeper in how we can use this knowledge today and what it really consists of. But before we do, I have a free success hypnosis MP3. About 1 million people from all over the world have used it. You can click right here and get it for free, or go to the link in the description or pin to the comments. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's my free success hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious mind. Because we now know from modern quantum science that your consciousness creates reality, but 95% of your conscious is subconscious. It is subconscious. It is a habitual program that controls your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors. And that has been programmed negatively from our world. The cool news, you can reprogram your subconscious. When I first started listening to this, I was making $1,500 a month. Within 2 years, I was making over $1 million a year. And every single day, I get these epic stories of people who get all these new jobs. They sell a house that was on the market forever. They get unexpected money. They find the confidence that helps them attract their soulmate and new relationships. It's free. Just listen to it for a couple minutes every day. It's jakeshypnosis.com. You can click here, or you can go to the link in the description or pin to the comments down below. Now, if everything we've discussed isn't strange enough, isn't like kind of a little bit chilling about, is history real? Let's go into these, because these alien beings didn't come to conquer Earth with weapons. They arrived with blueprints and teachings, with universal laws, with vibrational science, and the mechanics of how reality itself works. And across cultures, they taught humanity how to do very similar things, like align with the stars, the rhythm of the cosmos, how to build these sacred temples, how to do it using precise mathematical and geometrical codes that line up with the stars, how to use sound and vibration to alter physical matter and to enter altered states of consciousness, how to activate the pineal gland, known as the seat of the soul, how to traverse realms of consciousness beyond the limits of time and space as we know them. So they didn't come to rule us. They actually came to tune us. So in other words, these weren't primitive civilizations. They were early initiates that were trained into universal truths on frequency, sound, and vibration. And they were trained by interdimensional alien mentors. And that leads to really something even stranger, which is the multidimensional universe. If we think about what all these ancient civilizations were saying, clearly, these alien beings weren't bound by 3D space and the normal physical reality, because they shapeshifted out of nowhere and then they would vanish into light. So, were they extraterrestrial? Like from another physical planet, and they're arriving through traditional space travel from a more advanced civilization? Or were they interdimensional, from a higher vibrational realm, using advanced understanding of quantum mechanics and the nature of reality that allowed them to travel through dimensions? Now, strangely, if we look at what all these ancient civilizations said, they seemed to move through energy fields, like as if they were using the quantum field to shift through dimensions, just like radio stations tuning between different timelines. Now, their teachings revealed a couple things: how to navigate the layers of the universe through resonance, through vibrational resonance, how to harmonize the mind, body, and soul to become receivers of higher consciousness, how to use sacred geometry, sound, and intention of consciousness to reshape the physical and the invisible realms. So clearly, these weren't just spiritual teachings. They were about ancient technology, right? But what kind of ancient technology? Like laser beams? So let's just unlock this, because it's leaving us the keys to understanding the nature of reality itself, which has really been buried for thousands of years. Modern science is now discovering what these ancients already knew. First, Matter isn't solid. It's vibrating energy, even your hand. Second, the particles exist in probability within the quantum field until they're observed by consciousness, and then they move into an energy state back into a physical form. And then third, the observer effect collapses these possibilities into form, and that shows us that consciousness has control over how reality operates. Fourth, consciousness is non-local, meaning that it exists beyond the brain. Fifth, reality isn't static, or it's not a predetermined physical world. It's a generative field that responds to your perception. Now, these aren't just theories. They're measured. Quantum physics proves it. For example, the science of sematics shows that sound shapes matter into precise geometry. And then the Heart Math Institute has proven that your heart emits an electromagnetic field that is measurable and affects others. Then the reticular activating system in your brain, it's actually filtering reality based off your beliefs. And then quantum physics proves your thoughts control how physical reality manifests. And the ancients already knew this, right? So clearly these principles of quantum physics and consciousness, they're not new discoveries. They're lost technology. So how do you use this to control your personal reality? That's $1 million question, because they left this blueprint. We should be able to use it today now that we're discovering it, right? So what does this mean for you, right? What if we're not meant to exist in a predetermined reality? Like we're just hoping for good luck, or we're cursed by bad luck. What if instead you were meant to use this ancient alien knowledge to master the science of manifestation, not just so you could control your reality and get what you want, but more importantly, so that you could tune and develop your godlike powers that you've forgotten? What if the whole purpose of life was just to remember because you forgot this when you were born? The universal principles of consciousness that these alien teachers gave us thousands of years ago, and really we're just now beginning to remember, which is that your consciousness collapses potential into form. You shift timelines. You begin to inhabit another version of reality, one that you're consciously tuning. So ancient rituals weren't superstitions. They were vibrational protocols to tune the body and the mind exactly like you tune a guitar. The Eye of Horus, the Flower of Life, they're not just art. They are blueprints of frequency and manifestation. The pineal gland activation wasn't symbolic. It was neurological alignment with the invisible quantum field. And then like all the ancient chanting and drumming, they weren't just random worship rituals. They were frequency commands to the quantum field. So then maybe the real secret that ancients knew that these so-called aliens were trying to pass down to us, that these weren't just visitors from faraway galaxies. They were travelers of states of being, like advanced consciousness explorers who understood that reality is not a straight line. It's a field. It's a multi-vibrational web where every version of you already exists. Think about that. Right now, there's a version of you who's stuck in the same job, paycheck to paycheck. You're wondering, is it ever going to change? But there's a version of you who's broken free, who's financially free, who's doing what you love. You're making more than enough money. You've got the time, the peace. There's a version of you who's lonely, heartbroken. You're repeating the same financial, relationship, emotional patterns. But there's a version of you who is deeply in love. You're in a relationship that heals you, that supports you, that inspires you, where you feel truly seen and safe and loved. There's a version of you who feels sick, tired, anxious. But there's another one who wakes up energized, who trusts their body again, who feels aligned and strong and whole. These versions aren't dreams, they're real. They exist now in a parallel reality already alive in the quantum field. The aliens, or maybe, right, we should just call them awakened messengers, they weren't just teaching us about the stars. They were trying to remind us of something far more powerful. You're not here to make things happen. You are here to remember who you truly are. You are a multidimensional being with the power to select your reality. That's what manifestation is. It's not begging, it's not wishing, it's not trying to control the outer world. Because manifestation is about alignment. It's about tuning yourself to the version of you who already has what you desire. And that happens through a very specific formula. Thought plus emotion plus identity equals reality. Your thoughts tune the frequency, your emotions power the signals, and your identity, which is like who you believe you are, that's what chooses which version of reality you unlock from the quantum field. So if you want to manifest something different, you don't chase it, you don't work harder, you shift yourself to the version of you that it's already normal for. You walk different, you sit different, you think different, you feel different. Not because you're faking it, but because you are already aligning with what already is real in another dimension. And here's a wild part. The moment you do this, things begin to change. People show up, opportunities emerge, synchronicities multiply, and people that are unaware call it lucky. But it's not, because your outer world has no choice but to reflect the frequency that you are broadcasting. It's not magic. It's the physics of consciousness. So, which version of you are you going to tune into today? Because we're all waiting, right? The broke you, the rich you, the lonely you, the loved you, the afraid you, the empowered you, they're all already here. You're not trying to become someone else. You are simply here to remember the truth. You are a multidimensional being, and manifestation is just the act of choosing your reality, one aligned thought and emotion at a time. Now, the hard part is you will consciously choose a thought. You'll feel good. You'll go about your day, but then the old pattern comes back. The one that says you aren't good enough, it's too hard, all the right men are taken, all the right women are taken, something can't happen because of your past, you'll always be broke. Your thoughts then get controlled, and they start to mirror your current limited circumstances. This is subconscious programming. Sub is below. So this is below conscious. Stanford University did a study. They found that 95% of our life is subconscious. 60 to 65,000 thoughts a day are subconscious. So you have to reprogram your subconscious mind. So make sure you get my free success hypnosis, jakeshypnosis.com. You can click right here to get that, or go to the link in the description and pin to the comments right there down below. I got a comment recently. I love reading them all. Someone started listening to it and they were like, it is too powerful. He said that he got like 4 new job offers, and it was like becoming a problem because he didn't know which one to pick. That's what happens when you reprogram your subconscious. The only reason that we don't believe that we create and control reality is because we don't see the proof of it because we consciously make changes, but we haven't changed the subconscious. Once you change the subconscious, things happen fast. I told you, I went from like making $1,500 a month to making $1 million a year within 2 years of just listening to this for a few minutes every single day. It's free. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's pinned to the comments and in the description right there down below. So what do you think? Did aliens teach us how to manifest? Did they teach us the nature of reality and then we forgot? And then it was too strange for us to believe that it was true? And now we're all here to remember again? You are the creator of your reality. You are a spiritual being in a physical body. Energy is never created or destroyed, which means every version of you, every version of your future already exists in the quantum field waiting for you. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Yes? No? Did aliens teach us this lost knowledge and now we're here to remember? You can click here to watch another video.